Welcome to the ROI Puzzle. I'm Nicole Stirling from Stirling Marketing. On this show, I sit down with leaders in B2B tech to untangle the numbers behind great marketing. Today, we're diving into strategies for MarTech leaders to scale pipeline despite flat budgets and lean teams. If driving growth with limited resources feels like an uphill climb, you're not alone. And that's why we're here. And if your leads are dropping off somewhere between marketing and revenue, and you can't pinpoint where because your teams aren't aligned and attribution isn't actually tracking the real buyer journey, you're not alone. At Stirling Marketing, we generate over $7 million in pipeline for B2B tech companies in 12 months, with a campaign engine built to close, not just engage. Last quarter, we helped a tech client come in 73% above their pipeline target. And I've created something specifically for marketing leaders who need to diagnose what's broken fast. It's called the Pipeline Acceleration Roadmap, a 60-minute strategy session where I'll audit your funnel with you, map out a visual diagram of exactly where your leads are getting stuck, and send you a prioritized action plan that you can take straight to your CEO or CRO. If you want to finally pinpoint why your leads aren't converting to pipeline and get a clear roadmap to fix it, book your free Pipeline Acceleration Roadmap at stirlingmarketing.net/roadmap. So with that, let's dive into how MarTech leaders can scale pipeline despite flat budgets and lean teams. I'm joined by Christina St.Pierre, Director of Growth Marketing at Contentstack, a headless CMS that lets brands create, manage, and deliver content seamlessly across any digital channel. Christina has a wealth of experience in partner marketing, omni-channel strategies, and integrated campaigns that drive engagement, revenue growth, and pipeline acceleration. And she has quite a unique little role at the moment. So I figured, Christina, I'll hand it to you to just give us a bit of background about your role at Contentstack.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole. What a wonderful intro. Yeah, I have nearly 15 years of experience in demand generation. I've had the absolute honor to sit in several different teams in growth and demand gen. And I'm experimenting today at Contentstack with bringing two of those teams together under one umbrella. So under my purview, I get to manage our BDRs, basically our ears to the ground, really, and such an important role and such a hard job, as we were just talking about. And I also have our field marketers, which are really our regional amplifiers. And in previous lives, those roles have always worked really closely together. And there's been that fun little dance between the two teams of negotiating priorities and focus and, those competing priority conversations. And it's really been interesting to align those two teams and create tailored experiences with tailored messaging. It feels like a really laser focused way to outbound.
I love that. And I have seen them, obviously, the poor BDR team moving from sales to marketing, back to sales, back to marketing. What benefits are you seeing at the moment by having them together under the one umbrella?
Yeah, honestly, the magic happens when that group, that's the ears to the ground that I was talking about, feeds intel back to the megaphone. So we also have a BDR on the team who is acting as sort of our center of excellence, which is a role that I've kind of seen in some of my peer circles, but it's not been clearly defined. And for me, what makes that center of excellence is how can I take the learning, whether it's the negative responses, the positive responses, the things that we're hearing on the phone, and turn that into intel for a marketer to use. And marketers are so hungry for this anyway. We're usually constantly knocking on the doors of our very busy sales team, being like, what are you seeing? What are the trends, right? What are your blockers? That's a conversation as a field marketer I've had many times in my past. So it's nice to leverage the BDR organization to get some of that intel and be able to quickly turn around what I call these sprints, right? These just like short hits of what we think are time relevant messaging to start to go into these different tailored audiences. A really good example of that, actually, without naming names, of course, is that we had heard on the phone from a few of the folks that we were prospecting into that they were dealing with a real life situation of a current tech stack that they were using, end of lifing support for an on-premise software. And of course, for us, that was really great intel. The marketing team went back and we developed a whole micro campaign sprint around how we could help those folks out, our prospects, our customers, these real people dealing with that problem of a very real thing that a lot of us experience in the software industry. It's like, oh, the support's going away for this software. Do we choose to stay with it? Do we choose to bring this in-house? Do we choose to pivot? and maybe update our tech stack. And so that was a really nice, we're kind of in the middle of that sprint right now, but we're seeing some really positive feedback and responses from that.
Fantastic. I love it. So I guess a good question then around what assumptions have you had to unlearn in your environment and with your team structure in order to make this successful?
Yeah, here's a big one. And it's still tough because as a marketer at heart, I think I'm always wanting to put on the very best, the most unique, the creative experiences. And often those come with heavy, hefty budgets. And in a world and in a macroeconomic climate where sometimes we can't always afford to do like the big, suites at concerts, for example, we have had to get really creative and tailored with our approach. And what I've had to unlearn and still tell myself in full transparency day to day is that a lot of our audience, while they love cool experiences, they go and they do that in their free time. When they're looking to network with their professionals, a really clean, crisp, clear agenda is where the magic happens for those types of events. So it doesn't have to be this grand, splashy thing. It really could just be a gathering of the right people and a clear topic that they can align on and share best practices and tips. And it's been really great because that gives Contentstack the ability to sometimes just step back and let our prospects and our customers do a lot of the networking and talking. And I find that that's where a lot of our audience finds value.
So, okay, I've got a question then around how are AI and emerging tools reshaping what you're doing at the moment in terms of your pipeline growth?
Yeah, this one's really fun and honestly a little bit near and dear. I don't know if you remember, but when AI technologies came out, there was a big buzz about how a lot of jobs were going to be replaced with AI. And honestly, BDR was for sure one of them. And that shook the industry a little bit. It shook a lot of the teams that I work with. And we've really had to sit down and kind of rethink and embrace AI. In my personal opinion, people like to talk to people. So I don't foresee, at least in the immediate future, AI replacing a person when it comes to outbounding. That's my opinion. But where AI can help and enhance is we can use it to start to untangle some of the blockers that we have when we do outbound, right? And if you think about one of the key blockers or negotiations that we have to do as a BDR team, it's how do we create scalable outbounding that also feels personalized, that also feels like it's me, Christina, talking to you, Nicole, versus blasting out the same message to 250 people at a time. But still reaching the numbers that, candidly as a BDR team, we have to reach. And so that's where I've had the honor, our marketing ops team, just to shout them out at Contentstack, is so creative and I'm so blessed to work with them. But I've had the honor of trialing things like AI coaches for our BDRs, where they'll sit on some of the calls and literally give real-time feedback right after the call is hung up. Here's where you could have, judging from the intonation of this person, here's where you could have leaned in, or here's a potential middle of call blocker you could have navigated around. And that's been really cool. We also leverage an AI. AI is really fun. It can also be creepy at times, right? But we also leverage an AI software that will crawl things like public profiles, websites, LinkedIn, digital properties, public reports filed, and it'll spit back in like bullet style chunks to our BDRs priorities for that organization. If they're moving up market, if they're launching new products, if they're going to be expanding different geos. And so it gives them nice bite-sized things that can help personalize their approach without spending the hours that it used to take to read into some of these reports and dig down into the websites and look on LinkedIn profiles and things of that nature. So that's been really fun to play with.
That's amazing. Okay, so we've focused on, I guess, AI with the BDR role, but what about the field marketing side? What are they tapping into at the moment?
That's such a good question. For us, again, it's constantly getting tailored, unique experiences without the big budgets. How are we continuing to do that? And again, we're finding that we really do that through content, but also through these personalized one-to-one moments. And so one of my favorite ways to use AI is we're actually leveraging, it's kind of in partnership with BDRs, so I'm cheating a little bit, but we're actually leveraging a direct mail software that, yeah, we could do just a mass mailer. We could say, oh, we're going to send out Lego kits, or we're going to send out little coffee cards or things of that nature. But the really fun thing is that we can do kind of an ABM, ABX. Actually, I really hate the term ABM. Side note, it's really a whole team sport, not just marketing when you do account-based anything. So we leverage like an ABX style approach with that, where we can put in specific contacts and it'll spit back, again, public information. If they've posted that they like golf, it'll tell us they like golf, and we can send them a golf gift card, right? Or I'm such a bad golfer, but I don't know, maybe a gift card to Dick's to get their next set of clubs. And then within that, they can always opt to take the gift, or they can opt to put it into charity too, which I personally love because there's that kind of human approach to it as well.
I love that, especially the charity element, but then even direct mail, it's always been such an effort and uplift, even on a mass scale. Mm-hmm. So to be able to personalize it where you actually get a wow moment from the receiver, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. It feels seen, right? Like it's like, oh, I'm not just on the receiving end where I'm getting the same thing that everybody else is getting. It's, oh, you saw that I personally like golf, or I actually have a real true story. It wasn't me specifically, but a colleague of mine had done this, and they reached out to somebody who always had a picture with his dog. He always, and like his LinkedIn profile had a little picture of him and his dog, would post about his dog. It was very clear that he had a very true and genuine relationship with his dog. And so they sent Chewy a gift card and had just related to him because, you know, who doesn't love their pets and spoil the heck out of their pets, right? So, and he felt seen. Like, this isn't the, oh, I'm going to send you cookies or a champagne mailer, which those are fun too. But it was like, this is clearly specific to me. And it's those moments that I think that's where it clicks. That's where the marketing happens.
I love this. We could keep talking for hours, I think, but we need to keep this short and sweet. So, Christina, where can you find out more about you and what you're up to at Contentstack? What's the best place?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can always follow me on LinkedIn. I don't know if we can link that here with the magic, or just send that out. But I would say keep an eye on Contentstack, because there might be some really interesting ways that we might be promoting how AI can help tailor and craft unique experiences, all the way down from the brand journey to the one-on-one magic moments that we were just talking about too. So for sure, stay tuned. We have some exciting stuff in the fall.
Amazing. Thank you. Well, that's a wrap on the ROI puzzle for today. Huge thank you to our guest, Christina St.Pierre from Contentstack. You can check out her LinkedIn or check out their platform at contentstack.com. And if you're a B2B tech company struggling with leads that aren't converting to pipeline, grab your free pipeline acceleration roadmap at stirlingmarketing.net/roadmap. And I'll show exactly where your funnel is broken and how to fix it fast. Want to share your own story on the show? Head to stirlingmarketing.net and click Let's Chat at the bottom of the site. This is Nicole Stirling, helping you solve the ROI puzzle one conversation at a time.